There's something about yellow and orange these days that are really, really just feels very healing. Color vibration, color therapy, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. So I'm just hopping on here real quick because, first of all, thank you so much for the sisters and the goddesses who attended Pussy Magic Workshop in Chicago. It was a huge success. I was very excited about the response, the feedback that I've gotten, and I feel more inspired to continue this work of healing my sisters. It was great. And we are planning on coming back to Chicago sometime in the fall. But the next Pussy Magic Workshop is going to be in San Antonio, Texas. July 24th is the target date. But thank you so much for everybody who joined, who participated, who made the women made the space beautiful. And this one thing I love about the workshops is that, well, first of all, I get better and better every time I do it. I'm becoming more confident in my spiritual gifts, and the women who join are the ones who are supposed to be there, and it's always such a beautiful experience. Oh dear. Okay, I hope this is not tripping too much, but anyway, I just wanted to get on here real quickly to share something that I find very interesting. Endometriosis. So for you guys that don't know, I'm an OBGYN nurse. I've been doing that for over 11 years. And what I recognize in this field, I've worked with white women, Native American women, and African American women, and Hispanic women. Women of color, Earth women, Native women, the original inhabitants of the planet, we respond differently. We respond differently to trauma. Our wombs, our vaginas, our pussies, our yonis respond differently to trauma. And so what I've been noticing about endometriosis, what is the significance of it on the spiritual level? And this is what I've discovered, ladies. So the endometriosis, the cells, what's happening in the uterus is that they're moving, well, that's not the right way to say it. They're coming out of the space and outside of the uterus and going to different places where they're not necessarily supposed to be. So the significance of this is when there's some trauma that you're holding in your vagina, in your womb, it starts spreading to other areas of your life. That's what endometriosis is. It's cells being in other places where they're not supposed to be, and it causes pain and discomfort, especially pain during sex. So I ask a lot of my patients, and of course it's a very sensitive topic, but for the patients that I know that have endometriosis who are willing to share with me their story, because not everybody is, I ask, did you ever have any sexual trauma as a child, any sexual abuse, or any rape as a teenager or as a woman, any kind of sexual violence? 99% of the women said yes. 99% of the women that I ask about endometriosis and sexual abuse or child sexual molestation, there's a correlation, is what I'm saying. What I'm starting to see is that there is a correlation between sexual abuse and endometriosis. Most of my research that I do personally is on women of color, mostly African American women, because what I noticed and what I know for sure after 11 years in this field is that we respond differently to trauma. We respond differently to medications, especially Western medications. So if you are dealing with endometriosis, which is what I'm currently studying now, and this is just me personally studying it, is that there is something that's in your womb that is unresolved And because it's unresolved, it's spreading to other areas in your womb. And those cells are moving to places where they don't necessarily belong, which is where the pain comes from. Well, that's part of it. The other part of it is that the fact that if you don't resolve your traumas, your childhood traumas, teenage traumas, adult traumas, as far as sexual abuse, rape, molestation, if you don't resolve that shit, it's gonna come back up. The pelvic floor is where we store old traumas, pains. This is where numbness comes from. This is where infections come from, yeast infections, bacterial vaginosis, all of the issues, the common issues that we see. At sometimes monostat 7 doesn't work, sometimes the antibiotics don't work, or it might just be a temporary relief. But what I'm coming to see is that these things are way deeply rooted in trauma. And so what I tell my clients who are interested in buying my vaginal suppositories is it's not just about you taking the suppositories and putting them in your pussy. It's a whole ritual that goes along with it. And not only that, but if there's trauma in your life, you need to learn how to release it. And I find that most people need help doing that, because unless you're a therapist or a psychologist or you know, even if you are, sometimes you just need another sister to talk to help you release that shit. So I currently have a client right now, and we are studying her trauma, her sexual abuse as a child, and how it relates to endometriosis and painful sex. So that's really all I wanted to share with you guys. I love you guys so much, and I'm so glad that you guys are supporting and commenting and attending my Pussy Magic workshops. They're getting better and better every time, because I'm learning more about what my community needs as far as healing, as far as trauma release, as far as therapy, life coaching. It's working out great. It's working out amazing. And so the next one that we're having is going to be in July. It's going to be in Texas. Then after that, we're going to Atlanta, and then Chicago, and then back down to Texas, and we have Miami and Los Angeles in the books, so we're really excited about that. So thank you again for you guys' support. And last but not least, this yellow and orange has really been vibing lately. It's really been vibing. And I totally 100% know that vibrational medicine and color therapy is a real thing. So if you just sit and look at this, there's a part of your subconscious mind, there's a part of the retina in your brain that's absorbing these colors, and it's healing. It's healing the orange and the yellow chakras. All right, guys, that's all for now. I love you guys so very much. Peace and blessings.